Okay, today we're going to build on our angle vocab and our angle pairs and add some algebra in there, so solve some equations with them. If you look at number 11 on page 10, it says line AB is some weird symbol to ray CD. Well, remember that symbol means 90 degrees. They're perpendicular is what that's saying. So when AB and CD intersect, that forms a 90-degree angle. They tell me that DCE is 7x plus 2, and ECB is x plus 8. Those two, again, are perpendicular, so those two are forming a 90-degree angle. So what I would do with those two equations is I would add them together and set them equal to 90. Build your wall. Combine like terms. So on the left-hand side, I see some x's, 7 and x. Well, there's a 1 sitting there, so 7 plus 1 is 8x. And I also see some numbers. 2 plus 8 is 10, and I see nothing on the other side. Normally I say get your x's together, but there's no other x's to get together. They're together, so we need to get our numbers together. It's a plus 10, so I'm going to minus 10. That's an 8x. 10 minus 10 is gone, equals 80. Again, remember, the only thing that fits in between there is a dot, so we are dividing by 8, and x is 10. They don't ask for x, though. They ask for DCE. So I'm plugging into DCE. 7 times 10, which is 70. 70 plus 2 is 72. This is an angle, so it's 72 degrees. All right, let's look at number 13, which is actually on page 11. So just turn it one page. It tells me what DEG is. So DEG, D to E to G. And then it tells me what GEF is. So G to E to F. And it actually has one more, DEH. So D to E to H. Well, if you look through all of them, I have an X in 2 of them and a Y in 1. So I need to start by doing the equations that deal with my X's. Well, if I look at the green and the yellow together, what I notice is one, that they're touching. They're touching at GE, where yellow and green meet, so that is adjacent. But also if I trace them all together, if I start at D, go to E and then G, back down to E and finish off at F, I have formed one single line with those two angles. And remember, if I form one single line with two angles, that means that they are supplementary, they're a linear pair, so they add to 180. So I'm going to take those two x's, I have to solve what looks alike first, and set it equal to 180. So that's very similar to what we just did. Build your wall, look for like terms. Well, I have some x's, 5 and 7 is 12. Negative 4 minus 8 is negative 12. My x's are already together, so I'm moving my numbers over, opposite of what it is, so add it. That's 12x, negative 12 plus 12 is gone. And the only way that that's attached is by a dot, so divide. And x equals 16. Now that's one thing they asked for. They said find the values of x and also y. So I have to go back through and find y. Now there's multiple ways you could pair this together, but I would like us to look at green and blue together. So I'm going to kind of clean up that picture really fast. Again, I recommend that we use colors if we can. So if I'm looking at green and blue, well, if I notice they're not touching anywhere, and if I look at just green and blue together, I will notice that they're forming that X. And remember, if they form an X, those are called vertical angles, and vertical angles are always equal. Well, I can't directly come in here and say green, so 7x minus 8 is equal to 9y plus 5, because if you notice, there's an x and a y, and I can't solve an equation with different variables. But I do have my x value. So I can plug that x value in, and I can get an amount for that. And that amount is 104. So I can take 104, set it equal to 9y plus 5. Again, because those are vertical angles. Vertical angles are across from each other. Build your wall. There's no combining like terms, but I do need to get my numbers together. So minus 5. The only thing that fits in between here is a multiplication dot, so I would divide. Oops. I would get 11 equals y. And I have found both my x and y like they asked for. What I would like you to do is go ahead and turn back to page 10, pause the video, and complete 10 and 12 on your own. You will be asked to input them in at the end of this video as a checking question. Alright, hopefully you've paused that video. I want to look at 20 at the bottom of page 11. It says EF bisects CEB. So EF bisects CEB. Now if we remember, the word bisects means to cut in half. So it means that they are equal. So it means I can go in here and I can say that these two things are equal. It says CEF, CEF, C to E to F is 7x plus 21, and it says that FEB, F to E to B, is 10x minus 3. Now again, since those are bisected, I can just set those two things equal to each other. So I can set equal these two angles, build your wall. Let's get our x's together first. Well, I'm going to subtract 7. There's no sign there, so it's automatically positive. Do the opposite. 7x minus 7x is gone. 21 equals 10 minus 7 is 3x, and then minus 3. Get your numbers together. So it's minus, so I'm going to add 3. 21 plus 3 is 24. 3x, negative 3 plus 3 is gone. The only thing that fits in between there is that multiplication dot, so I'm going to divide by 3. And 8 equals x. Now that's not what they asked for. They actually asked for DEB. So they actually asked for DEB. So this guy in there, and I don't have any expression if I look up there that I can directly plug it into. If you look at it for a little bit, you might notice that if I take all three of my angles, so C, E, F, F, E, B, and B, E, D, and put them together, at the end of the day, I form this line. Now, this is not an angle pair, so this is not an angle relationship because it's actually using 3 angles, but it's still, a line is a line regardless of how many angles make it up, and so that line is going to equal 180 degrees. So what I can do is I can take my 8 and I can plug it in to either of these two angles because they're equal, so it does not matter. So if I take it and I plug it in and I say 10 times 8 is 80 minus 3 is 77. Well, they're equal, so if one is 77, the other one is 77. And again, I'm saying that the whole thing should equal 180 degrees. So if I take 180 and I subtract one of the 77s and subtract the other 77, that gets me a total of 26, which is what's left over for angle DEB. So go ahead and pause that video and do numbers 18 and 19 on your own. Again, these will be questions that are asked at the end of this video to check your progress. So make sure you have solved both of these on your own. And once you have paused the video and done that, your homework is to also do 14 and 15 from page 11, Bring those completed to the class meeting along with any other questions you may have from this video.